using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his way.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But
Floyd, yeah, because
Finally, Terence Crawford has said something about Floyd Mayweather's plan to meet in 2026. Surprisingly, he's willing to do it. He wants to end the never-ending argument about who really is better than the rest. Even though Mayweather was more than 10 years older than Crawford, he started the challenge because he was getting angry that people kept comparing Crawford's power to his own legendary status.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
After his last win, Terence Crawford talked about the rumors that he was going to meet Floyd Mayweather. When asked about the fact that fans wanted a repeat and Floyd agreed to it, Crawford did not back down. He made it clear that if Mayweather is telling the truth, the return would be huge, and he would gladly share the ring with a great. His message was easy to understand. He is ready for fight if it comes up.
now.
how do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight.
Floyd Mayweather didn't just shoot at Terence Crawford because his fans were spreading the story. He felt like he had to answer. When past rivals said out loud that Crawford might be able to do better than him, the buzz got louder. A claim that went right to the heart of Mayweather's reputation. In addition to Canelo Alvarez, Shane Mosley, who lost a decision to Floyd almost 15 years ago, added fuel to the fire by making the same point.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands.
That Shane Mosley openly admitted that Terence Crawford was better than Floyd Mayweather made headlines when he appeared on Fight Hub TV, while Mosley was careful to respect his old opponent Mayweather by pointing out that he had better technique and natural talent. He leaned strongly toward comparing the two. He said that Crawford is the more complete fighter because of his size, his ability to move up weight classes, and his ability to adjust. Mosley said that Mayweather was great, and the fight would have been very close. But Crawford would have won because of his reach and other physical traits.
Who you think's better out of those two? Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually, he moving weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter.
Fans and experts in the boxing world have brought up an old, heated argument. Can Bud be called the best boxer of all time now that he beat Canelo Alvarez? The 37-year-old's win was nothing short of amazing. It put him back at the top of the pound-for-pound rankings and changed the order of things in sports. Canelo, on the other hand, had given hints about his feelings before the fight. But after the loss, he stuck to that position and said out loud that Crawford was better. Canelo shocked everyone by saying out loud that Terence Crawford is a better boxer than Floyd Mayweather at the press conference after the fight. His words were clear and easy to remember. He thinks that Crawford is clearly better than Mayweather.
Can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can?
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Those words were especially important because they came from a boxer who had fought with Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez's reaffirmation of that view soon after his loss showed more than just feeling. It showed either a lot of respect or a real view that Crawford worked on a higher level. His comments caused a lot of debate right away in the boxing world. People who supported Crawford said he was ready to move up in weight classes and fight top-level opponents. People who supported Mayweather said Floyd had a perfect record and an unbeatable background. Later, Crawford talked about the issue again and reminded followers that Alvarez's point of view is based on real life. He said on the Ariel Helwani show that Canelo has fought both guys in the ring, so his opinion is the only one that can be trusted. Crawford said that people who don't believe in it can argue all they want, But Canelo is one of the few who really gets it because he has faced both of them.
You know, how did that feel to hear that from someone like him?
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, you know, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was
ready for the body shots. You know, occasionally the straight right hand to the body would land for Canelo. But, you know, sooner or later, Crawford started getting out of the way of that as well by just pivoting, you know, on the angle and, you know, making Canelo reach. There were spots in the fly at the ring that I saw Crawford, you know, try.
Finally, this argument is not likely to end soon because what makes something great is personal. One thing that can't be argued about is that both of these men haven't lost yet, at least for now. In the case of Terence Crawford, they won world titles in multiple weight classes and cemented their places as two of the most famous American boxers in history. Still, the most interesting part of the argument is how each person got their perfect score. That was exactly the point made by current star Ryan Garcia on Inside the Ring show on September 10th, when he asked fans to learn more about how Mayweather and Crawford got to be so successful.
You know, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't go off of that. You know, Floyd is the best fighter, you know, in his era. And I felt
Ryan Garcia, an active fighter, sharply criticized Max Kellerman for thinking that Manny Pacquiao should be #1 on the pound-for-pound list instead of Floyd Mayweather after ESPN ranked Mayweather first and Pacquiao second. He did this by bringing up an article from earlier this month in which former NFL star LeSean McCoy praised Mayweather for changing the game. Then Garcia shot back. He thought it was a bad sign. He also said that Mayweather knew how to run the business of boxing, choosing fights and scheduling them to make the most money, but he often dodged opponents who were at their best. Garcia made it clear that Mayweather purposely avoided top fighters above the junior lightweight class, putting his perfect record ahead of real fights. Garcia says that this method changed the game and made other players want to do the same thing to keep their zeros.
Changed the game like Floyd Mayweather.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, that he's the best in that game. He's the best in, you know, making money and making all the, you know, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
After junior lightweight. Junior lightweight.
He changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own.
A lot of the stuff that Canelo was doing. And, you know, that I would say this, that work from Boots helped in that aspect because Canelo was reacting to a lot of the counters that Crawford was throwing. Usually in the past, you know, Canelo would stand right there. He would lunge and he would stay in place, keep his feet in place. However,
recent achievements by Terence Crawford have brought up arguments about the pound-for-pound rankings again. And the time couldn't be better. At this point in his career, Crawford is working at a very high level and still competing. Max Kellerman, a famous expert with decades of experience in the ring, weighed in on the Crawford versus Mayweather argument on his show Inside the Ring. Kellerman agreed that Floyd Mayweather had a lot of advantages, including a long list of wins, the best defense in the world, and lightning fast hand speed. He also said that these skills are big parts of why Mayweather is one of the most dominant boxing winners ever.
Wild, because like if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight.
Kellerman also said that Floyd Mayweather became pickier about his opponents as he moved up from the lightweight division. According to the expert, Mayweather carefully planned when to fight dangerous boxers, which helped him keep his perfect record. Even though this approach worked, it made people wonder if he was always up against opponents who were at their best. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, has shown throughout his career that he is ready to fight anyone. Kellerman says that Crawford's bravery is liked by both fans and other fighters, which makes his image as a warrior who isn't afraid of real challenges stronger.
I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, He wanted it.
Boxing fans always put Floyd Mayweather against Terence Crawford, but Crawford has been careful not to hurt Mayweather's reputation as a 50-time winner. When asked what they had in common, Crawford gave an answer full of love and respect. He wasn't shy about praising Mayweather's work. He called him the king and praised Floyd's skill and ability in public, which cemented his place as one of boxing's all-time greats.
A lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd would win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I love you, Terrence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah.
Crawford said, "There are definitely similarities between us in certain areas, but we also differ because I tend to take more risks in the ring." Floyd also took chances early in his career. It depends on which form of Floyd you're talking about. What do you mean? Money Mayweather or Pretty Boy? Pretty Boy was all about being in charge. Later, he hurt his hand, which slowed him down, and as he added weight, he lost strength when fighting bigger people. Crawford said that he and Floyd Mayweather shared many traits. Fans and experts are still arguing about who really wins, though. A recent review found that Crawford might be better than Jones if they ever fight. Mayweather has a great understanding of the sweet science that few others can match. He could easily beat opponents with his lightning-fast jab, perfect timing, surgical accuracy, and great counterpunching. He did this many times during his career, getting better with each new version of himself.
Excuse me, Carl.
You know, right now, but earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know, it just depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. If you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy.
Crawford pointed out that early in his career, Floyd Mayweather, the good-looking version, liked to be aggressive, putting pressure on opponents and taking a fight to them. Years later, Money Mayweather changed into a smart tactician whose cerebral, technical style was able to trick his opponents. No matter what style people like, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has been through a lot to become a superstar. Boxing fans are also very pleased with Terence Crawford, especially after how well he fought Errol Spence Jr. in their most recent fight.
From the left hooks again. There's a lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him, and then he hit his head off it on this here at the engine.
Terence Crawford was a great boxer. He could break Spence's guard with a quick jab, weave punches through tight spaces, and time his responses perfectly. He has shown brilliance before, but not many times have they been this good against an opponent as skilled as Errol Spence Jr. It's hard to say who is better than Floyd Mayweather when it comes to pure technical skill. But Crawford's style is unique, lively, and sometimes explosive, which makes for an interesting difference. If Crawford fought Mayweather when he was at his best, he would land precise hits that would test Floyd's disciplined understanding of the sweet science. Who would be in charge of the jab? Who will get the better counters? There are a lot of options, and this matchup might be so close in many ways that it might not be possible to pick a winner. It would be a real draw based only on skill.
He drops it again. That's a hard knockdown that time with the left hook. How about that? Keeps battling, falling forward. Oh my God! Terence Crawford has stopped.
How many times have we seen Floyd Mayweather carefully pull his opponents into the middle of the ring while carefully watching their every move and planning an exact way to destroy them? He turned his great ring smarts and the idea of hitting without getting hit into a famous recipe that made him an unbeaten 5-division world champion and put him in the Hall of Fame. At the same time, Terence Crawford, who is the undefeated junior welterweight and welterweight champion, has always had a sharp boxing mind and has dominated his opponents with strategy and intelligence throughout his career. Floyd Mayweather was known for having hands that moved very quickly. especially when he was striking. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, showed how skilled he was by knocking out Errol Spence Jr. 3 times on his way to a 9th-round TKO victory, which cemented his reputation for deadly accuracy.
Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in the fight between Terence and Floyd, and I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I love you, Terrence.
Errol Spence Jr. was a huge, powerful fighter who was known for smashing opponents like Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yenis Yogas with vicious power shots on his way to unifying the welterweight belts. It wasn't easy to beat him. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, did it with what looked like ease, in large part because he was strong. But Floyd Mayweather got better at defense by leaning into the Philadelphia shell, shrugging his shoulder, taking shots with his arm, and then countering with surgical accuracy with his free hand. Crawford has his own quick ways to defend himself, but Mayweather took defensive boxing to a nearly perfect level of skill by mixing it with deadly counterpunches.
You hook, you want to change you want to hook from the hips. So when you hook, boom, this toe gonna go up and this one gonna go down. So you hear and it's gonna go boom. So you can do a 45 or you can do straight. You come straight from the shoulders, boom. Open it up a little bit, bam. Get that, there you go. So, yeah, so you wanna come, everything you do, you wanna come from the shoulders, boom. Just turn it. When you coming in there, you hear, boom. And that's where that torque gonna come from. The hips, your legs, all the way up in there.
Imagine Floyd Mayweather at his best, going up against Terence Crawford. How do you think that fight would end, and who would win? Both fighters are very aware of each other's timing and rhythm during the first round, which is full of stress and strategy. Crawford jumps right in and starts throwing combos and putting pressure on the other player. Many hits go through Mayweather's perfect defense and bounce off his shoulders and elbows without hurting him. As the fight moves into the middle rounds, Floyd's signature move starts to stand out. His accurate jabs start to set the pace, winning rounds quietly and making Crawford work harder for every good shot.
And that challenge for him pushed him even harder to train harder and to be better. That challenge, went up against Canelo, moving up 2 divisions, hearing that people are saying, oh, he didn't look too good against Madrimov, so how could he look good at 68? Well, that motivated more, man. He trained hard. He did.
Still, Crawford's constant pressure and precise power may be able to find holes in Mayweather's famous defense and land blows that will hurt even the unbeaten king. Crawford's speed, angles, and quick-fire combinations might be enough to persuade the judges to give him extra points for his energy and volume, even though Mayweather is a great defender. Even though Crawford was normally humble after beating Canelo Alvarez to win the undisputed title, the boxing world is not likely to forget that he is one of the sport's all-time greats anytime soon.
Look at this defense, unbelievable. You young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you've seen one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong.
Everywhere and then he's nowhere. You think you...
And again, it's not just hand quickness, it's the movement of the head. The way he rolls with punches. Look at the way he makes them miss. I mean, here we go. Do a series of punches and nothing really landed. The ripping fighter. Well, Mayweather. All right.
In a fight that many people said would define the best boxer since Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, Crawford seemed to keep his word. Forget about Alexander Usyk and Nia Ino for a moment. He made history when he became the first fighter in the history of 4 belts to unify 3 of his belts and the 6th man to win belts in 5 weight classes. Canelo Alvarez has been the biggest name in boxing for the past 10 years and was just named pound-for-pound king in 2022. Crawford's win over him did more than just make him more money. It made him more famous in boxing history and solidified a reputation that needs to be taken seriously now.
Where does Canelo go from here, Henry?
He needs to rematch. If I'm Canelo, I want to rematch Terence Crawford. He got schooled, bro. He got outboxed by Terence Crawford. And I know that he's itching to get that one back. The first time he fought Triple G, and he came back the second time, and he legit beat Triple G.
Once in a lifetime fight. It doesn't need to be a rematch. I think Bud would do worse the next fight.
But when asked if he was as successful as Mayweather, Crawford laughed off the idea right away. After the fight, I told the reporters, Floyd was the best of his time, and I'm the best of mine. There's no reason to stack us against each other, but the argument started just minutes later when Alvarez, who was being polite, even though he had lost, was asked who he thought was better. Remember that Alvarez, who was only 23, had lost his first professional fight in 2013 to Mayweather, who was 36 years old. Every bit of it was due to Crawford. He said, "I tried really hard tonight, but I just couldn't get his style. He had everything." He then said, "To be honest, I think Crawford does better than Floyd Mayweather. The debate will go on until the final fight happens." Well, that's all for now. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page and turn on the bell so you never miss the latest news, unforgettable moments, or boxing action.